start recording the session. Many of you participated in our last monthly call where we went over PR 101, and after that webinar, we issued a survey to everybody to find out what areas you'd like to learn more about, and the overwhelming favorite was on SEO, or search engine optimization. We're very pleased to have joining us today Brantley Smith. He is the Director of Interactive Marketing with Continental, and he's got a lot of experience and a wealth of knowledge to share with all of us, and I hope that you'll find this to be a very informative session. As we're going to keep everybody unmuted, we really encourage you to jump in and ask questions, or if you need clarification, please speak up. Don't be shy. We will have time at the end for question and answer, but please, if there's anything that confuses you or you want to learn more about as we go along, please feel free to chime in with your questions or comments. So thank you, Brantley, for participating today and leading us through this.
More than welcome. Hello, everybody. Lively group out there. Bueller. I appreciate everybody joining us today. My understanding is that there were some questions out there that came to Jennifer and Priscilla about SEO and whether it's advisable to kind of tackle that monster yourself or hire somebody to do it, or something in the middle. I want to ask you a question just right out of the gate. Anybody who wants to respond, please do. Is this something that all of you or some of you have been toying with as far as getting involved in SEO for your local market websites, or are trying to get somebody in that can actually do the work for you? And what is your number one pain point? Maybe we could have 2 or 3 people just blurt out something. Is it a matter of just not understanding what SEO is? Is it something more specific?
This is Heather with RMI.
Hey, Heather, how you doing?
Good. I would say that our pain point here at RMI, we have hired a consulting firm to help us with our search engine optimization, and my number one challenge is link building techniques.
That should be in that one.
Your number one challenge is what? I'm sorry?
Link building techniques.
Link building techniques. Okay.
And the differentiator between long tail and short tail building as well.
Okay.
Should be Jane.
Those are great, actually. And what I'll do is, did anybody else want to speak out as well? Do you have anybody else have anything specific that you're hoping to get out of this?
This is Jane Thorne from Crossley Property Management.
Hey, Jane.
Hi. For us, it's just learning how to get better on the Google, how to get up there in the search optimization.
Okay, just more visibility on Google?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Okay, all right. Well, here's what we're going to do, because those are actually 3, if you're going to pick 3 things to talk about, obviously Google visibility is huge, and everybody's always wondering, how do I get on, the top position or the top of the search engine ranks in Google specifically. Link building is another key component to search engine optimization that we'll talk about as well. And it's interesting that you mentioned long tail and mid tail type of search terms, and so we're going to discuss that a little bit too. I don't want to make this overly technical for those that are not interested in a highly technical presentation, but we'll cover a couple little things just so you can kind of see gauge the complexity level of tackling it yourself, and maybe be able to make a better determination of whether you want to hire somebody, or if you've already made a decision to hire somebody, but you just want to be able to better manage those people so you can talk the talk and you understand when they tell you something that you can convert that into something meaningful and give them further direction. So that being said, again, my name is Brantley Smith. I appreciate the introduction. I am the Director of Marketing and Interactive Media for the Continental Group under Shelley Tagowski and her group. I started out in a smaller division of the Continental Group, and recently rolled over to help the broader company with their SEO efforts and interactive media efforts across the board. So my expertise is mostly in web development and search optimization, search engine marketing, social media, and the like. So if it's lead generation and it has to do with online, that's generally where my expertise lies. I am also familiar with real estate. I'm a Florida licensee. I've practiced commercial real estate since 2006. And I had a short stint as a property manager for Coldwell Banker Commercial for about 3 months, and ended up taking another job. But I had a little bit of a hint at what it could be like. So that being said, the topics we're going to talk about today are basically defining SEO, the things that actually influence your rankings, answering that question, how do I get to the #1 spot on Google? The current internet, usage statistics, things that you want to know about the usage and behavior online. And then some technical mumbo jumbo about site design. What are the nuts and bolts of it? Other SERP consideration, and anytime I mention SERP, it's a search engine results page, generally referring to other things outside of just the nuts and bolts of building your website that you might want to consider. We'll talk about some myths in the industry, things that you may have heard or learned years ago that would be a good tactic to take for an SEO strategy but might not work today, and why. And then answering the question for yourself, should you pay somebody to actually come in and handle SEO for you, and then direct you to some free tools. Jumping right in, Wikipedia defines search engine optimization as the process of improving the visibility of a website or a page in search engines via the natural or unpaid search results, and I refer to them typically as organic. And algorithmic is also another term that we can discuss a little bit further on. Does that definition scare anybody, or does that make pretty good sense? Is there anybody out there that's confused just generally what search engine optimization is by definition, as far as what you're trying to accomplish on a website, trying to get better visibility? Okay. The big question that, and actually it was, I think Jane mentioned Google visibility. The big question a lot of people have is, what exactly influences your rankings in the search engine? So when somebody types in a keyword or a key phrase, how can I either myself implement a search engine optimization strategy or manage somebody doing it for me where it's going to be as effective as possible? And there's a bunch of different things that go into it, but I chose 8 to kind of list and briefly talk about to give you kind of a flavor of what's involved. The #1, and you'll always hear this, is content, content, content. And that is not necessarily always quantity, although in some cases it can help. Certainly quality of the content, and that can be a little subjective, but it really comes down to understanding what you're trying to accomplish with your website and each page of your website, and what the intent is of the person searching for your website. So when they do a search, that the content that they read when they land on that particular page of your website is what they actually wanted to read. So there's a little bit of theory in actually planning out your actual content on your site. We could talk about that again a little further. 2, changes to the search engine algorithms. Has everybody out there pretty much just by a yes or no, do you know what algorithms are? Have you heard that term?
No.
No? Okay, so we have some no's out there. Algorithm is some technical jargon that basically means the methodology in which a particular search engine will determine relevancy of your web page or your website. So it's really think of it almost as a mathematical algorithm. So they have a formula which is different by each search engine that will guide them to understanding in an instant what the best search results are so they can display them for their users. So the reason that that's important to at least understand what an algorithm is because it's a moving target, and it's something that